software changes. Everything's different. So fun. Am I live right now? Apparently, it's still publishing the YouTube broadcast. So if I'm live. Maybe, probably. Are people populating? This is Todd Standing, who feels a lot like Harry Potter because I'm broadcasting you from the closet under the stairs. I was on Art Bell's show, so I don't feel funny broadcasting from under the stairs. Don't have anything populating yet, so this is a little strange. Anybody out there gonna? So, what's going on with me right now? Hey, there we go. So with this whole, there we go. Okay, so we are definitely live. I'm, I'm, since Americans can't come to Canada, I'm looking at going to the United States and possibly working, like doing expeditions with people, like going out there as a tracker, and people hire me to go and help them with their Sasquatch research. Hey, Kyla. And normally I would never think to do something like this because it just seems totally preposterous, except I just went to New York State and had a Sasquatch come within 40 yards of the three of us with, crappy weather. So really, hey, Kyle. So, it's now I have all these people calling me from all over the US to come out. And so, I'm considering it. Justin, is that my Justin from Alabama? Right. So anyways, um, yeah, and I'm really excited to go give that a shot. So, uh, and it's just so many people have been, Florida, for goodness sake, is a prime candidate that I'll likely be doing in October now. So, lots of really good sightings. Even some of these people who really wanted me to come out just said, well, there was this thing on the Sasquatch Chronicles and a bunch of sightings, and there's a bit of a conspiracy where Fish and Wildlife's covering stuff up. So there's lots of investigations that I can do, and I don't know. What it really came down to. I mean, you could ask Kyle about it. It really seems like it's a the research comes down to inches. It really comes down to just the littlest things, making the right decisions and seeing the smallest cues. It's a real game changer, and I guess I should have known that better. I didn't really realize it until we went out, in New York State. See, my problem was always like, the way Finding Bigfoot goes out and they go into an area and it's preposterous. I always thought of it like, even the scientists that are colleagues of mine will tell you, well, it takes 8 years to get gorillas to habituate to you. And it's the same thing with Sasquatch. It takes a long time, but if I stand on the shoulders of other people, even with Kyle though, like Kyle hadn't been there in 5 years. I don't know why the heck was that female coming around us so quickly and so, and I guess the answer is it's just a game of inches, and it's the little things that I've done. I'm not out there making any, I'm mentoring a little bit, and I'm a little thing here, a little thing there, and then it seems to make a huge difference, like golf. You hit the ball 1 millimeter one way or the other, and the ball just it totally changes the trajectory of it. It's really, just a game of, like we say in Canada, of millimeters. I don't know what you'd say in the United States, eighth of an inches. But it really seems to make a big difference. And yeah, so question here, Todd, have you ever thought of baiting an apple or such with a tracker and track this? Yeah, you can't do that. I thought of that years and years ago. There's no such tracking device that's that small that'll go into a stomach. I mean, the technology isn't there yet. So, and imagine even a Sasquatch bites into an apple and you probably bust the device, and it's just not something they don't do that yet. It's not legitimate technology as it exists, or at least it wasn't when I was looking at it 2 years ago. So, and when you seem to play those games, I don't know, you change your intent, and you lose the success that you're having. So, hey Todd, a question: the skunk smell associated with Sasquatch, do you think maybe that's a cover scent? No, I think it's just when they're ticked off at you and they want you to know they're upset, they smell. So no, it's not a cover scent. It's yeah. See, Joseph is talking. Come to Florida, lots of activity, and I didn't even put it out there about Florida. I've had four people talking to me about Florida, Florida, Florida. So that's Justin. That's my Justin from Alabama's on here, I think. So I was just talking to him on the phone 15 minutes ago. So hey, there's Kelly Burns. There's Kelly Burns is a big time Florida girl, right? So um, hello Amy, Brian, hey Amanda, hey everybody, and Raymond. Thank you very much for the donation, the €5, Raymond. Greatly appreciate that. If you want to make a donation, it's best that you go to my website, discoveringbigfoot.org. But yeah, thanks a lot, Raymond. Really appreciate it. Did you have a question, Raymond? I'd be happy to answer when I don't see a question from you. Greg from Indiana. Hey, Brian, I'm well. Joseph Dillon. Yes, too hot. Yes, too hot before October if you're coming to Florida. I don't mind the heat though. I kind of I thrive in harsh conditions. So I do really well in extreme cold, and I am actually, gosh, it's kind of weird because I'm not doing Iceman training right now, which was enormous to help with the safety of. I saved, someone almost died last year, and we survived because they fell in a creek, and I went into that creek that was flowing really fast and pulled them out, and I was able to sustain myself in that freezing glacier water for an extended length of time because of my Iceman training. But if I do Iceman training, when you do Iceman training, your body becomes this major heat burning machine. All the hormones and your body just it's trained to resist cold. So if I go into Alabama and I'm all this furnace generating heat, or Florida, and it's the southern United States that I'm looking at right now. Even Oregon is an option for me, and it's really hot there too. So uh, maybe I should be training for. What do you do? Do you train for hot or do you train for cold right now? So anyways, the answer is I'm not. I'm just sort of staying in the middle. I'm good with the cold, but I'm actually planning potentially to going to Alabama really soon. So we'll see how that goes. So Eddie Gomez says, "Did you see the Chantel Taylor and Tate NS?" No, I don't know. Interesting, Chantel. They do interesting hunts. You have to see it and go north to Carolina. That's cool. Good. Yeah, I don't know anything about that. So, um, Sebastian says, "Do you think the government knows they exist but choose?" Absolutely. Yeah, the government totally knows they exist. I don't think to. I'm absolutely certain the government totally knows, even way beyond there's that the engineering thing, the engineering handbook where they have Sasquatch listed as a species. It's way, 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 way more than that. They know all about the Sasquatch. They have thorough, extreme understandings. So, hey Kelly, do you think Central Florida has Bigfoot here? Well, it's over. There's a wildlife preserve. I think it's Sasquatch Chronicles, episode 600 and something, 70 or something. I'll get into that a little more. I'm gonna have to do some research because there's some people that want me to come out to Florida. I have actually quite a few connections in Florida. I have the Floridians. There's a couple from Daytona Beach that came out and did an expedition with me. Awesome, amazing, fantastic, wonderful people. But the expedition was totally, as far they think they heard one call. I wasn't able to confirm that, or some is one little when you get a call and you need to go find tracks and get that evidence substantiated. We didn't get anything like that, and they did so well. That's one of the reasons I probably left Nordegg, is the Floridians, as I call them, were just absolutely flawless, wonderful, amazing, fantastic. 10 out of 10 people that 10 out of 10 listened and did exactly all the right things, and they didn't get any interactions with Sasquatch. So that's it. Joseph asked, would I ever consider tranquilizing a Sasquatch? Have a look at the video on my YouTube page. It's to kill or not to kill a Bigfoot. It's from a few years ago. Have a watch through that because I did consider that, and it's preposterous. It's totally asinine. Can't happen. So, do you think the government knows? Yes, I do. We did that. Eddie Gomez. Do you see where? How come we already had these questions? Okay, down a little further. Um, Northman heat stroke is real. Yeah, that's from Smelly Do Right. Well, yeah, of course heat stroke is real, and I've dealt with that. It gets hot up here too, and you exert yourself in the heat, and so Um, yeah, it's very real, but I just I don't know. There's ways you can train for it. I'm sure there's hot training. I'm sure you could do. Go in the sauna and just prepare for it. And but even mentally, there's things that I do to train for heat to be able to manage that. So I have a question about the snapped saplings. Okay, well ask the question. Eagle 3Y3S. Gary Green, LOO, gotta ask, does Bigfoot wear a mask? Yeah, no. They're the social distancing champions of the whole world, I would think. So absolutely not. Um, I heard skunk ape is in Florida. Yeah, that's what they call the Sasquatch in the Everglades. I was down in the Everglades, gorgeous, beautiful. For those of you who haven't been to the Everglades, it's just me being from the mountains and about fresh water and glacier runoff and all these things that's completely the opposite of what a swamp is in the Everglades. The Everglades are one of the most beautiful places in the whole world. This strange thing when I was on the that airboat, the guy told me, he said, just try to, don't get too lost in the beauty of it because people go crazy. They come out here and they get so crazy with the beauty. They live here. And he says it happens all the time. And I'm thinking, this is a swamp. How could it? And he was right. It's that beautiful. It's just, the swamp is just lush and gorgeous with life. And once you appreciate how beautiful the species that live there are and how magnificent and such a rich, like the swamp is just rich with life. And yeah, it's beautiful. So I really enjoyed my time there. And, you know, do Sasquatch exist there? I don't. I think yes, but that's completely just an opinion. Um, I have no evidence to substantiate that in any way, and I don't know anybody who's impressed me with their evidence enough that I've researched into. So Deborah says, I think forest rangers know about Bigfoot. Some do, for sure, but they're not allowed to talk about it. Hey Todd, do you plan on visiting Meg from Virginia? That's a good idea. I should talk to her. Yeah, that's the so Kevin is obviously a long time watcher on this channel. There's just an excellent video I did with Meg. She's in Maryland, more specifically, right? And she had good evidence going on. I just haven't spoken to her. I get so freaking busy. Like I literally there's like 40 people every day that I'm supposed to be talking to and calling. And it's just, I'm so overwhelmed right now with just everything that's going on personally. But I'm still working. I'm still working hard for this discovery, guys. So I appreciate your patience. He's gonna wake up and you'll be his wife. Okay. Um, Thanks for the compliment. Ego says you're the best. There's no Bigfoot researcher competition, and if there was, I wouldn't show up for it. But thank you. I do very well. Don't go around telling people that I'm the best because there's no competition, and I think that's actually I kind of find that almost offensive. I'm not. I don't feel like I'm better than anybody else. I'm certainly different, and I do things differently. But it's really important that we don't go around saying Todd's the best. I just don't like that the way that comes out. Do they use trees? Do they use trees to run fast in the forest? That is a brilliant question. Somebody who doesn't know about the way a Sasquatch moves through the wilderness would go, "What the hell is he talking about? Do they use trees to run fast?" And the answer is yes, absolutely. They will use trees to push off of to accelerate faster, like a runner accelerates out of blocks. They will pull trees as they're moving. They'll use their arms and their upper body to pull them and twist them and even move and change direction. So the answer is, and that's an excellent question. And you don't know that the perfect example of, most people would just blow that off. That's a brilliant question. It's something I've seen a lot of is they use the trees to move and maneuver. I think that the trees are when when a civilized person would look at it and go, "Oh, those trees are a hindrance," and they're going, no. To a Sasquatch, he would rather run through the trees. Because the trees, when they block a moose or a bear, not a Sasquatch. Because I'll tell you, a moose and a bear, when they have to go around a tree, a Sasquatch can use his arm to whip around. You must understand that. You know how people spin around poles and stuff like that. A Sasquatch can change direction. He can even, and you know what? No other animal. I've never heard of any animal. I've seen Sasquatch look at me and go, this happened to me in Montana, where a Sasquatch compressed himself up against a tree like a runner in his blocks. Because I saw him and he scared me, and I kind of flinched like I was going to reach for my gun. I had no idea he was going to be there, and he was being adversarial with me. He was upset because I was gifting his younger siblings, I think, and he didn't want me to do that anymore. It was ticking him off. So he came there to be adversarial, and when he scared me, I thought about reaching for my gun just for a second. I didn't, but as soon as I kind of made that flinch, I thought, oh, gun, I should draw it. I looked over at him, and he looked back at me, and he was like, he compressed against that tree, and he goes, go ahead, reach for the gun. He looked me right in the eye. He was like, I'm going to get to you before you pull that gun. And I looked, I remember doing, whoa, like hands up, whoa, easy, big fella. I backed away, easy. Like I have goosebumps right now just thinking about it. It was terrifying because he was just like, let's fight. I want to do this. Even maybe you'll get a shot off, but it's not going to put me down. Like he was ready to go, kill or be killed was the look in his eyes. And I just gave him all the respect in the world. I put my hands up. I let my jacket fall back over my gun. And then I saw him uncompress. And you must understand, like, a bear will get traction from his claws. I don't think a mountain lion will do that so much. I don't think they retract their claws to pull themselves in the grass. But when you can imagine you're in a pool. When you push off the wall, you know what kind of velocity that gives you? It's even more so when you push off from a tree. It's enormously advantageous, and it gives them another level of specialized ability. Not only are they incredibly fast, incredibly strong, but they can increase their agility dramatically by using the trees, pulling off the trees, pulling around the trees, changing direction on the trees, starting off by pushing off from the trees. And please tell me if you ever heard of it. Like no deer, even anatomically, a quadruped can't really do that, can they? They can't back off against a tree and push like that, and they don't really need to. Their hooves are so grippy, but it's as a biped, and they do that. I used to train in sprints for the 100 meters. I was a decathlete, and that's called a switchblade start when you blast off from the blocks. It's an enormous asset, and they do that. So it's really, really exceptional. It's totally amazing. They're such an exceptional, incredible, amazing species. Todd, what do you think about the Native American stories of them living in peace with the Sasquatch? So Sebastian Penez, Todd, what do you think about the Native American stories of them living in peace with the Sasquatch? They coexisted for thousands of years. Do you think they will ever feel safe to live with us again? Well, coexisting is one thing. They living alongside each other in peace is one thing. But, can we do that? Well, yeah, I sure think so. Um, that's absolutely the goal for me, is to find a better way for us to coexist. Because right now we're ignorant. It's complete and utter blatant ignorance. We'll block off rivers that have salmon spotting up them, and the Sasquatch won't get their food sources. We just make a million mistakes, and it's ridiculous. It's totally unnecessary, and I want this discovery to move forward. I want it to happen. So that's what I want. That's why I do this work. So to find a way for us to coexist with them and give them some respect and even learn from them. It's coexistence. I think we could learn a lot more from them than they can learn from us. That's for sure. I don't think they will learn anything from us. Sorry, I didn't get much sleep last night. So, hi Todd. Why don't you think people find bones? Well, you know what, Jambo, I talked about this before. I mean, how many forensic anthropologists are hiking through the wilderness and identifying a bone that's not a deer or a bear, it's a Bigfoot? The only thing that's going to be an identifier is a skull. And to me, it's quite clear they've been burying their dead. They've been doing it for 200,000 years. And, they protect their dead. So John Smith says, were you by Kalispell, Alabama? No, I was in a different area of Montana. I'd like to talk about it, but the researcher there, it's his area, and like many people, he got upset with me for whatever ridiculous reason, and but I do give him his respect, and I won't reveal his research area. And there are Sasquatch in Montana, 100%. I've seen them. I saw footage that was good footage. Funny thing is, when you have truthful, good footage, you analyze it, and the more you look at it, the more just truth comes out of it. And it's very clear to me that the Montana footage that I viewed and looked at and analyzed in my computer programs, it was definitively authentic. And then I got to go to the spot and I saw the tracks, and then there were Sasquatch up there. So yeah. Hello, SoCal Forest Ninjas. Kelly, that's a sound they put off when they're taking off that everybody talks about. Year, it sounds like the bulldozer's going down. Okay, good. Thank you for that comment. Sasquatch are descendants of the species spoken in the Bible, red-haired giants. I don't know. I don't want to talk about Bible and religion and stuff. It's definitely off topic. So you guys can explore those things for yourselves. I do science, and I focus on facts and truths. So spirituality is not religious at all. Spirituality is an enormous part of this discovery. I'm very, very spiritual, and it's huge for me. The spiritual. It's clear to me that Sasquatch are immensely spiritual beings, and another reason why they so easily evade us is because of their spiritual connections. It makes you very powerful, and if you don't understand that, I don't know. I can't help you. So Lana says, what do you think they would do if they saw a picture of themselves? I think they would recognize it and just go, sup, you know. I don't think they would be shocked by it. Like that mirror experiment they did with gorillas and stuff, right, where they kind of get weird. So yeah, I don't think they'd be fooled by it. I think they know themselves. I think they've looked in lakes and rivers and seen their reflection, and so I don't think it would be shocking to them at all. They're just so highly intelligent. So even more than that, let me speculate on something else. I think that they're very psychic with one another, and I think that they can see this. Maybe I shouldn't go there, but I'm not going to go there. It's too much right now. But anyways, just think about the possibility of true psychic ability where you can see into somebody's mind and what they're thinking, and that is such a incredible game changer if that's the case, which I speculate is in fact the case. Humans are animals, so Sasquatch are as well. And isn't that, it's so funny how that topic comes up so much. People get mad when they're called animals or they're called primates. People just get all pissy about that stuff. And you know, that's the way I see it. We are animals. You ever done that little game where they go animal, vegetable, mineral? Well, we fall into animal, so but using that term is it's very offensive to people, and I don't get it. Obviously, I have an immense reverence for this species, reverence. So if you think I'm disrespecting them, back in the earlier days, I did call them animals. You could see it in video 3 when I'm talking about the video 3. I said, these animals don't stand around for pictures, blah blah blah. And then I started using primates. People get upset about that. So, it's don't get upset about it, but anyways, I am encouraged to call them hominids now. Jeff Meldrum calls them relic hominids. Fantastic name. And if I ever have anything specifically to do with this discovery, I would like them called Homo americanus, because they're the original indigenous Homo sapien that lives in perfect equilibrium within the forests of North America. So I think that's totally fantastic. So just totally amazed and blown away by how incredible the Sasquatch are. Okay, tons of this. Gilly Girls 4SQ. Thoughts on next level on getting past the playful, such as tree breaks, rock clacking, tracks, in order to get to the boss of the wilderness whom speaks Cree? What is the SQ zone he is functioning in? That's the goal, isn't it? And that's a great question. That's the goal. I want to, I want them to take an apple out of my hand. I'd like them to come and sit down somewhere. I'd like to go to a spot and sit down. And if you watch this show, I've talked about it quite a few times. I believe that almost happened to me. What's almost happened to me a couple times. But the most significant time was when that older male was foraging towards me on that day, and I screwed that up, So even you should know too, like just as an example, after I filmed, I was doing really well with them. They were being very agreeable to me, and then after I filmed video 5 with Jake, they were really pissed off at me. I was sneaking around being a jerk, and after that I could see they just didn't trust me, and of course they didn't trust me because I was sneaking around like a little jerk. So you know, walking up the creek using ghillie suits and human electromagnetic concealment. So you know, it was me trying to verse them, and that's just the stupidest thing to do. So I wanna I wanna get footage and have success without versing them, because that's just the surest way to kill yourself. I mean, the things I was doing were death defying, and it was really hard. And I just don't. I may I may get pressured to go down that road a couple more times in my life, and perhaps I would a couple more times, but I don't want to. It's the last resort. It's the absolute last thing I want to do because it's such a hard road. So, how was the Adirondacks? There are plenty of Sasquatch there. Yeah, there are, and it was fantastic. You know, for me, honestly, I mean, it's beautiful, and I loved it, and it was my first time in New York State. But the Sasquatch were fantastic, but it was the people that I was with. It was Kyle and Sadie were just freaking amazing, and that doesn't happen very often, where you get two people that just are just totally brilliant and amazing. And it's hard. People, we don't get along very well with with one another a lot. You know, I don't. There's a lot of people I don't get along with. So sometimes, you know, I've done expeditions with people that, you know, we just there's a little bit of butting heads, and you know, and not good research happens. But you know, it's the way of it. It's hard. That's why I screen people, and I try to be real difficult about the screening process, and it's worked extremely well for the most part. So Sasquatch as having hierarchical culture, some are primitive, some advanced. I think it's kind of a statement. Sasquatch as having, or does it mean Sasquatch are a hierarchical culture? Some are primitive, some are advanced. I don't know how to answer that question. Sorry. Hey Todd Standing, I really enjoy your research on Bigfoot that you've been doing. Well, thanks, Robert. Thanks a lot for your support. Thanks for watching. Thanks everybody for watching, taking the time. Isn't it funny? Look, it's got like closet. You know, it's funny how I remember. I don't know if anybody's watched Harry Potter, and it's always like he's so tormented, and he can't say Voldemort and this big evil, and it's so hard, and it's like life has just become like that for me on so many levels, where it's people just, you know, all the crazy things you see in Harry Potter, and it's like people aren't really like that, and they are, you know, and the more popular you get, the more famous you get, the more haters will come out and they say the most preposterous garbage. And I would never, you know, like a president, and you know, you can't argue. You know, Trump has been put through the. There are things that I saw that he was accused of unjustly, and people have learned to just make your accusations and be a total douchebag, and you get away with it. And that really pisses me off. There should be ramifications for people, serious ramifications for people who make false accusations. It's very serious. When it affects your livelihood, or it's an accusation that could potentially end you up in jail or horribly damage your career. When you make false accusations, and it's proven your accusations are false, you should go to goddamn jail. I'm sick of this crap. It just pisses me right off. I see it all the goddamn time. It happened with Trump. Some woman accused him of sexually harassing her, and then he proved that she's a goddamn liar and nothing happened to her. And then it pissed me off that all the newspapers around the story didn't even write a bloody retraction. So, again, this isn't about politics. These are about facts. A woman accused him of something, and it was a false accusation, and he proved himself innocent. That person should be in jail, or she should have a thing on her driver's license saying this person lies, she's a false accuser, she's a narcissist or a sociopath or whatever the hell her problem is. And that way the next innocent person she goes along and accuses, you know, can get some freedom. Like, my God, it's out there, people. It sucks. So it's hard to function. I mean, so much crap going on. I've heard and seen them. So Eagle 3Y3S, I've heard and seen them in AL. Is that Alabama? Because if you have, we would love to hear about it, especially since I've got, I don't know, like four really cool things going on in Alabama right now. So it's looking like, anyways, I'm doing the best I can to manage these things, and it's really hard, but taking it step by step. Dude Koch says, have you seen the Russian Bigfoot trying to attack the car? No. Wow, sounds very interesting though. If it's real. Cool. Um, I don't get out much anymore. I talk to people about Sasquatch all day, and I work on Sasquatch stuff all day, and then just family things. So, Todd, is Trump a juvenile Sasquatch? No. You know what I used to say? Nah. Well, anyways, I used to talk about how I'd take the president out and show him a Sasquatch, but nobody believed me because nobody believes the president. And then I would say I would take Trump out and show him a Sasquatch, but I'd probably scare the rest of the hair off his head because it's a pretty terrifying experience. So I agree with Amanda. She's responding to Fred saying my best footage, all the best of everything. I put everything into that movie, guys. I put every ounce of everything, the best I've ever done into discovering Bigfoot. It's all there. I don't, the new footage and the new stuff I have, it's just new, interesting stuff, but it's not going to be better than what you've seen in discovering Bigfoot. Not yet. And who knows what'll happen this year. So, um, the extraterrestrials probably come around when Sasquatch are around because they're fascinating. Very good point. If apparently we're in acknowledgement of it now. The government of the United States has acknowledged. The government of Canada acknowledged it at least 5 years ago that UFOs are real. In case you guys don't know, our minister for defense, who's retired, came forward and said they're real. He said I've had meetings with governments all over the world, including the United States, about UFOs. They're absolutely real. It's irresponsible that the government is not making that known. But yeah, so and I've aliens are real. Is Sasquatch such a big stretch? I don't know. Isn't the world crazy? It's so crazy to think like the government is allowed to lie and deceive us like that. It's supposed to be a government, of the people, for the people, by the people, and it's like it feels a lot like it's them versus us. It feels like the elite have gotten up there and owned things, and it's just, the elite versus the people, and it sucks. We have every right to know what's going on in it's our home. This is our planet, and our governments hide stuff, and it's crap. So I don't want to. Someone asked me about the samurai chatter. I have no comment about that stuff. So, hey Todd, evening. If you're still coming to Mass, what's Mass? Freedom State is a must. Continued success. Mass? You mean Massachusetts? I don't know if I'm going back there anytime soon. We had tremendous success, but yeah, I don't know what the next step out there is. I have Kyle out there, and Kyle's kicking ass. Kyle's my guy out there right now. So and it's no disrespect to anybody else. I worked with Kyle. I bled with Kyle. We hiked together. I know Kyle. I can joke with Kyle, and I'm very comfortable with him. I can't trust. It's so hard for me to trust people because it gets thrown back. You know what? I used to think I was a good judge of character. I am not. People fool me all the time. People dupe me. A good sociopath, a good narcissist, just they play me like a chump, and I'm not good at that stuff. And I like to look at people and give them the benefit of the doubt and see the bright side of things, and that's stupid. It's just dumb. I've had my ass kicked so badly because I want to see the bright in people. I want to see the silver lining in the cloud. That's a dark, nasty cloud. Focus on the whole. Don't focus on the frickin' silver lining. I used to think it was so amazing. Look at me, I can find the silver lining in every cloud. Why don't you just shut up and see the whole freaking cloud before you get zapped by thunder and lightning, you dumbass? So, sorry, just the world will kick your ass, and it's hard, it's painful. So, the point is, I've built this circle of people that I trust, immensely trust, and I'm so fortunate that I have all these amazing people. I have, Georgia, and besides Boston and New York, I've got Oregon and California, Washington State, Alabama now, and you know, Florida. Like people that have been on expeditions with me, and I know these people. When you come on an expedition, and I put you through the trials and tribulations. It's not my expeditions are goddamn hard, people. They're hard. Like you're well fed, you're well hydrated, but you're gonna work. There's suffering, there is fear, there is a lot, and they're really really hard. There's no two ways about it. So Peter says New York episode was awesome. I thought so too. I was so proud of it. I know a lot of people are complaining. I just don't. Anyways, I seen a white Sasquatch in broad daylight. Been going out 3 times a week trying to find him to get a video. but the camera's shy. You know what, Peter? Screw the video. That's you're just going backwards. Forget about getting the damn video. Just go out there and have an experience and build a relationship. The video will come later. Don't make the video the first priority. The video can go to hell. The best times I've ever had, the best things I've ever seen are by far just what I experienced myself, what expeditioners experience themselves. So most expeditioners don't want me to carry a camera, and I don't. So just go have the experience, because the camera will take away from it. In that moment where you could have seen the Sasquatch, you were trying to adjust your focus, or you're trying to get it's just, and the Sasquatch don't understand why you can't just be in the moment. That's what's confused. That's why they'll leave. Oh, you're reaching for the camera, and the Sasquatch, well, I don't like that thing you're pointing at me. It's not even about what the camera is. It's like, why aren't you in the moment with me? What's this stupid camera thing? And why are you so excited in a weird, sort of sneaky way? They don't like that energy. You must understand you're putting that out there. You're being sneaky. You're being coy. You want to show the world. And that you put that energy out there, and it's not good. It's egotistical. It's shallow. You must I want to prove it. I want to prove to the world. No, just be in the moment. Love it. Enjoy it. And if you can do really well, you put the damn camera away, have a couple years of amazing success, there'll be a day where you just set the camera down and you can go sit down with them and do that, right? So it's frustrating for me because people are just bitching and complaining so much. Where's the new footage? How come you haven't got any new footage? Well, there is new footage. I gotta put it together in the computer and do the post production on it. But I don't know. It's hard because I do have to produce, because people do want to see stuff, but then I just want to have the experience. So I don't know. I do have to answer to my distributor. I am a Sasquatch researcher. It's because I do film and stuff. I have to answer to you guys. You guys want footage. It's a demand. And and part of me, there's a big part of me that man, when I look back at my footage, I'm so proud of it. Oh my God, I really am. I'm so proud of the work that my people and I have accomplished, and so proud of it. I don't know. It's especially having gone a couple years, maybe have I gone? I almost get I get a little piece of footage or two every year, but there were times where I had some drought and it was really hard and it was very frustrating. And then even I don't have a new incredible piece like Jake. I think Jake's footage is amazing. That's 1080p, man. I shot the heck out of that. That was an amazing bit of footage. And I look back and it's mind blowing with that success. You guys, people don't even really know the whole story about what entirely happened and how that all came to be and what happened after. So I could make a whole documentary about it's called that video 5. I can make a whole documentary about that. So Steve says, I have the same problem. Guess I don't get why people hurt each other. Isn't it? It's hard, Steve, isn't it? So much. But when you live in a capitalist society, it's dog eat dog, cutthroat, The movie The Founder is all about the guy who made McDonald's. The guy who made McDonald's is a cutthroat little jerk that told you right straight, if my competition was drowning, I'd shove a hose in his mouth. That's the #1 franchise in the whole world. These are the most powerful men and women, are the best capitalists. They're not. You can't be a nice person. It's about competition. When you're competing, you do whatever it takes to win. And believe me, cheating and backstabbing and deceit and whatever it takes to win, it works a lot. So yeah, it's hard to be. It's not, nice guys aren't just finishing last. They're getting their asses kicked. They're getting beat down. It'd be nice. It's nice though that I have a cooperation and I get a lot of. I know there's so many good people out there though. There's tons of amazing people. So it's nice just to focus on them and have your circle. Sebastian says, are they more closely related to us? Yes, by far. Well, they're hominids. They're right off the scale away from chimps. Nice guys finished last. Thank you, Northwest Olympics. Well, do we though? When it comes to, I think, family, this might sound cheesy, but for me, being nice, and even family kick your ass though sometimes. But with my children, I'll always win, like always. It's my children are just, they're amazing, and I get because they're so much like me. So no wonder I get along with them, right? But yeah, and I have a soulful connection to my children. So, and my biological children are just such a wonderful, incredible gift. The greatest thing that's ever happened to me. My best teachers of all time are my young, beautiful children. So, Kelly says, I just had my ass kicked last night by trying to find someone that I found the silver lining. You know, I'm sorry to hear that, Kelly. Avid hiker. Hi, Amanda. This is Shannon. Can he see my questions? Hi, Shannon. I can see your questions. Just lots of questions. I'm trying to go through them. Governments are allowed to lie unless they are from the opposing party. They must go. And right? They do. They lie. It's just the way of it. The, there's expressions, like an honest politician. Really? It's like you gotta compete and cut throats to get up there. I don't know. It'd be nice if, anyways. What do Bigfoot think we are? Species? Boy, that's a good question. Bigfoot think that we're confused, ignorant, delusional, dumbasses. They're afraid of us. We're so ignorant. We're ignorant in a dangerous way. We can burn the forest down. We can kill with our guns. We can fly over with our helicopters. We can poison the water, and we do. So what do they think of us? They're afraid. And they just think it's like when Sasquatch is dealing with people, that's like they know they're dealing with just insanity, craziness. And I think, and that's probably my secret, as I try to be less insane, and I try to be, I receive from them, and I do give them gifts, and I do give them respect immensely, but I'm trying to learn from my teachers. The big difference with my research guys is they are my teachers. I don't hear people say that. Do you? That the Sasquatch are teachers and they're my teachers and I'm their student. So, and that's really, I just want them to teach me. I want to learn from them. And, I play cat and mouse with them. I'm the mouse. I'm very aware of that. So, hey, JJ, New Mexico in the house. Yeah, I've heard lots about them. I've heard that New Mexico is just absolutely beautiful. I love the way people love their homes. I have so much respect for that. You grow it, you live it, you're from there, you're a part of it, you're connected to the earth there. And I think it's wonderful the way people just love their terrain, their earth, their little patch, their indigenousness. Hi, Todd. I've been watching your channel this last month ever since I had an encounter. Congratulations in Mammoth Cave National Park in Kentucky. Wow, I believe you. But watching your doc helped me. I believe you, Frank. You know what? But remember to, don't ever forget. When I talk to people, I listen to them and I hear passion. And if I tell people, look, like I was just talking to a woman from Florida. And I'm going through all the things with her, and I'm like, why would you doubt that you saw a Sasquatch? You know what you saw. You know it. Like, don't dilute it. You know what you saw. And if you're telling me the truth, congratulations. I don't see why you'd be lying. If you're lying to me, you're a goddamn sociopath, narcissist, dumbass. Congratulations, you fooled me, and you're a jerk. But I don't feel that way about people. When John was so passionate. John Bennernagel was so passionate about it. Never forget what he said. Everybody who sees a Sasquatch discovers it for themselves. And then there's ridicule and discomfort when they start talking to people. That, Frank, you're not even new. That's just par for the course, man. People ridiculed. People will just... I've had expeditioners see a Sasquatch. Like, oh, I just saw a Sasquatch. They see it. They see it. It's right there. They're in the hella middle of nowhere. They see the Sasquatch. We find the tracks and the breaks and all the evidence. They're, clearly, you just saw a Sasquatch. And then they go home. And their friends will be like, nah, it was a guy in a suit, Todd's fooling you, and blah, blah, blah. But every time that happens, every time, the expeditioner comes back and says, you know what? All these people say you're a hoaxer and a liar and you tricked me, and they have no idea. I was there, Todd. I saw what I saw. I saw a Sasquatch. And when you give them some time to let it sink in, they'll know what they know. And if, for goodness sake, Frank, that's what my documentary is all about. That's what my documentary is for. It's for people like you to understand that, gosh darn it, I know Sasquatch are real. I'm not a believer. I know Sasquatch are real. This is what I do. This is my job. Jeff Melgen knows it. Survivor Man knows it. John Bennernagel knew it. And you darn well tell people that these great men, that trio that I've worked with before, we all know Sasquatch exist. It's just Survivor Man. He's a freaking icon. He's the godfather of survival TV. He's the man. He just knows it. Don't worry about it. And Survivor Man may not be coming out right now. He knows. but he's being very politically correct about it, and I admire him for doing that. And we all should, because he's not out there punching people in the face. He's out there giving them, making them be the frog in hot water. Now he's going around saying something is out there, and we need to figure out what it is. Something. That's the way you do it. The man is a genius. I'm out there, I'm punching people in the face. He's touching them gently on the shoulder and saying, "Hi, I'm Survivor, man, and I have done all these things, and I've done all this TV, and I'm a survival expert. Watch my shows, and you know what? Something's out there. I'm telling you, I'm Survivor, man, and we got to figure that out." What a brilliant way to warm people up to it. You must become part of pop culture to change it. You have to get into the paradigm to create the shift. You won't do it from outside. That's probably the mistake that I've made. Actually, isn't it definitely the mistake that I've made? I'm not going around saying, well, they're probably he's doing it right. He's the way. So it's too late for me though. What am I? I can't go back because I am that guy. I see them. That's Sasquatch. Have a good day. Well, I have to be that way because I have footage. When Survivor Man, the day he gets footage, obviously he'll change, right? But he doesn't have footage, and so he's not controversial. Never ever forget, the only frickin' reason I'm confidential is because I have controversial. People do that. Oh, he's so controversial. That's their way of saying I have footage that may or may not be real, I guess. So you become controversial. Bob Gimlin and Patterson were controversial because they had footage. Well, of course, but when you're at that level, you're really fighting to make a change. You're really putting yourself out there, and you should be respected for that. But society doesn't work that way. But I'm so grateful for Survivor Man getting involved, and having the intestinal fortitude to stand up for what's right. And gosh, I just admire that man. But you have to understand too. He's so much for the betterment of this wonderful planet. He fights for it. The man is absolutely amazing. He will always be a hero. It's one of the greatest accomplishments in my whole life that I did 4 episodes with Survivor Man. And every episode we had a live interaction with the Sasquatch. And in one episode there was footage. And you better believe that was a Sasquatch 100%. So, Todd, do Sasquatch sleep? Whoa. Lost it somebody asked a new question. Todd, do Sasquatch sleep as nocturnal? And when is it hibernation period come into place? Portland, Oregon, respects. I say I don't, like, the Sasquatch aren't going to hibernate in Florida, right? Maybe not even in Alabama. So each individual is going to be different, but I don't think they hibernate at all, in my opinion. Do they sleep as nocturnal? They sleep whenever they want. They do things. I think a Sasquatch probably sleeps 4 or 5 hours a day, whenever the heck he wants. And actually, when you're carefree, and you do you understand? You can't even imagine. I don't think there's a human being that can understand how free they are. They don't have spears. They don't have shoes. They don't wear glasses. They're just free. They sleep wherever they want, whenever they want. When I'm out there in the bush, and I have a little thing I do where I don't get much sleep at night, so I nap during the daytime. Maybe around 2 o'clock, I'll find a nice, comfortable place. And if, doesn't matter what the weather's like, I'll just get comfortable somewhere and I'll just stare out and watch and just be calm and serenity and just have a little nap. And, I just think you know what? I've never felt freer than I forgot about what day it was. Can I ever really do that? Maybe not, because I only have 7 days worth of food, but I try to just forget and live in the moment. And it's a long, 7 days. I've spent 9 days in the backcountry wilderness by myself. You really learn a lot about yourself, and it's a very terrifying yet freeing experience. And it gives you a little insight onto how a Sasquatch must live. And they'll sleep whenever it's convenient. They'll whatever, based on their environment, whatever works conveniently for them. So it's just going to be different. Deer are like that. Deer will sleep and forage, or sleep and eat based on hunting pressure. Even when the pressure is low, when it's easier, you just want to survive. You just want to live. Everything wants to just live. So Amanda says Jeremy Phillips, he mentions this in a previous live video. I cannot remember. Yeah, so I didn't even see Jeremy Phillips' question there. They have compassion. So Steve asks, they have compassion. I don't know. compassion, because they're big, heavy, strong primates. Are they compassionate? Steve thinks they are. I don't know. Sorry, that's a tough one, because the term compassion, I'd need to have a definitive. They like humor. They're very soulful. They're very deep. But I also get a sense that they're powerful. Baptized in the fire, big giant primates that smash each other around and respect their power and their strengths. So, is that egotistical? It's a way. No, it's not. It's a way of life, though, to be a big, strong, powerful primate, and to put Kubota in his place when you need to, to to take over a new Sasquatch troop and kill the old male, and I don't know. I'm telling you that I'm not going to say they're compassionate based on deductive reasoning. I'll tell you they're compassionate when I see compassion, when I see an example of it. And specifically, I can't think of any time I've ever seen them be compassionate. Do you think the structures are language? Yeah. There's. It's very clear to me, Lee, that the structures mean a lot. They're built clockwise. They're built with the first tree that goes in is west, and it's all round clockwise, and it's very structurally impressive, and there's definitive meaning to it, and I believe so. So just I've had so many people come out on expedition and go, dude, you're not seeing the whole picture in this, and they'll do stuff and they'll show me things, and I'm like, damn boy, you're right. Like, that is impressive. There's a lot going on here. These are not just randomly bashed up things. There's some pretty impressive stuff. Brenda says Sasquatch is not out to hurt no one. They just want to be left alone. Well, you know what? But remember, Brenda, every individual is different. Bears are different. I've seen bears that are just complete jerk-offs, murderous monsters, and then most of them aren't like that, though. But human beings have serial killers. People are mentally shifting and thinking different ways, which is creates a great. It enhances the species' ability to survive when you're creating a wider range of personality types. So, and the Sasquatch are definitely, there are angry Sasquatch, there are mad Sasquatch. And remember how they live, Brenda. They kill. Do you really understand what that means? Like, I know natives, they love the elk. They adore them. I love the elk. They're the most beautiful, and these men kill the elk and eat them. They're killers. If you're going to kill an elk, I had a native guy tell me once, I love the animals and I kill them. I would kill you for fun. That was one of the most serious threats. In fact, I think that was the most serious threat I ever heard in my whole life. Was a native man. I knew he was one of the best hunters. He could hunt and kill everything. He was a killer. And he told me, I love the bears. I love the elk. I kill them. I put arrows and holes in their hearts. He says, I don't like white people, and I certainly don't like you. And I'd like just an excuse to kill you, and I would sleep better at night. And I believed him. So my point of that isn't trying to scare you. My point is the Sasquatch love the elk and the deer, and they kill them with their bare hands. They break their necks. They kill. And when you've got that killer instinct, it's a different world. Are you a killer, Brenda? Look at people. I don't think I would be. I really don't want to go to war. I would really, and for that reason, I don't think we should be sending people to war, because people go out one way and they kill and they come back and they're changed forever. It's horrible, man. I couldn't imagine what it would feel like. People dream about it. People see it on TV and they think it's all fine, but it's not. I know a lot of people that have had to pull the trigger and kill people, and how could it not change you? So, and remember, the Sasquatch are baptized in that. They are hunters and they are killers of things they love. It doesn't matter. Does it make a difference that it's an elk? You go, it's okay to kill an elk, it's not okay to kill a human. It's okay to kill a deer or a bear or a bighorn sheep, which are beautiful, harmonious, wonderful, brilliant creatures, but it's not okay to kill a human. So, there's really this is an area, these are my theories, but this is an area I don't know much about, because I haven't killed, I've hunted a little bit, but it was hard for me, and it's not an easy thing for me to take a life, so it's just how I feel. If Sasquatch like music, do you know if Sasquatch like music? I don't. I think they do, but I don't have any evidence to substantiate that or not. So, Northwest Olympics. I'm an empath with 2 encounters, one at 7, the other 17. Maybe just because I spent most of my time out there off trail. Like if you hang out with lightning with iron. Yeah, this is a good point. So, and congratulations on your encounters. You are special if you have multiple encounters, something very special about you. And I would like to tell you wholeheartedly, like, congratulations. That's a big deal to have. Uh, when you said you're an empath with 2 encounters, so did you see them? Just out of sheer morbid curiosity. I mean, that's if they're showing themselves to you, that's pretty spectacular. And really understand. The Sasquatch show themselves to people. People aren't. You don't sneak up on a Sasquatch and go, "Oh, there he is, killing a deer." If you understood the wilderness and all the signs and all the cues that we give away when we're wandering around, we're not silent, we're not stealthy, we're walking up the goddamn trails. We're the loudest, most obvious, ridiculous thing in the bush. It's ridiculous how loud and obvious we are. And when you're a Sasquatch and you can read the birds and the squirrels and the trees and you know the wind gauges and you know even hunters are very organized, and the Sasquatch will disorganize you. The Sasquatch recognize organization because they're intelligent, and that gives them an advantage. So I'm just gonna do one more question, guys, and we're gonna call it a show today. Um, Tons and tons. Billy Bob, wow, your honest integrity is truly remarkable. Thank you. I would love to meet you someday. I really want to go meet people. So um, I have so many questions I want to ask you. Your opinion of I would just trust you with my life, sir, especially. Oh, well, thank you so much. That's very flattering. So really, thank you so much. I really, oh, guys, I try so hard to just be honest. I try to be so honest. When I tell people I'm going to be there at 4, I'm there at 4. And if I'm not there at 4, I want people to be like, oh my God, maybe we should call the hospitals because I'm always there on time because when I say something, I mean it. And I go through a brick wall to say it. I'm careful about what I tell people because it can damage me to say, well, I go do this and then I can't. It's too difficult and it puts my family through parity and jeopardizes things. But I said I was going to do it and I'm going to do it. So it's a nice way to live. You know, that old adage of knights where they swear to tell the truth even if it leads to their death. Oh, man, but there's I have lots of colleagues and friends. Jeff Meldrum is honest like that. You know what I mean? John Benedego, he was honest like that. So this is not some impossible task. And I'm just really learning from these incredible mentors of mine. You really understand, like Jeff Meldrum, I've never seen him. He is a master of not exaggerating. You know, people say, "Oh, that was horrible." It wasn't horrible. It was kind of bad. It was a little off, but it wasn't horrible. See, Jeff Meldrum doesn't do that. He doesn't exaggerate. Neither did John Benedego. In fact, they exaggerate down, not up. When something's horrible, they go, "Oh, it was a pretty dicey situation," you know, and then you realize it was actually horrible. So I admire people that underpromise and overdeliver, and you know, when it comes to derogatory, they're easy on the derogatory, and when it comes to the positive, they exacerbate it. So yeah, it's just. But I've been fortunate enough to be mentored by people like that, and it's been my life. You know, with as far as with Sasquatch is just totally phenomenal, and the people I meet. Remember, I know there's haters and crap out there, but I make more amazing friends. It's easy to disregard the haters, and it's even easier to just meet amazing people and talk with them. And do you have a shirt store set up? Cameron, I've been working on that forever. So it's coming. It's in the works. Todd, do you think that Sasquatches are potentially multi-dimensional? No, they're physical creatures, period. No multi-dimensional. That doesn't make any sense. Talked about it before. I actually understand the physics of a fourth dimensional being as opposed to a third. They don't exist in the same plane, and just don't do it, guys. They're simply a physical, real. That's it. They're just real. They're physical. They're corporeal, whatever you want to call it. They're just a natural three-dimensional creature. For God's sake, please, let's stick with that. Harry and the Hendersons, Bigfoot real. Harry and the Hendersons was a phenomenal movie, and I thoroughly enjoyed it. So, yeah. So, awesome show, guys. Thanks for tuning in today. Next Wednesday is extremely likely to be a show, and then I'll keep doing videos and stuff, and life is just absolutely crazy for me right now. But you guys motivate me so much. And oh, there'll be a chat room after the show, guys. Go to the chat room, guys. Phil and Amanda, I've already, gosh, I got an Alabama thing out of it. I just spoke to a Vancouver Island guy, and we're getting really good stuff out of it. Go to the chat room, guys. Like Phil and Amanda really care about this discovery. They do great work, and Amanda's saying Los Angeles camera sightings were off when he recorded Jane making her appear much. Oh, so Amanda's obviously answering a question. I'm gonna help her with that one though. Camera settings were off when he recorded Jane, making her appear much lighter than she actually was. She was dark brown. See, she's right. Amanda's totally right. What happened was I had two cameras. I had one set for nighttime, so it was set for low light, and another one that was just and this low light camera was just a backup. I'd never used it before. I had no experience with it. And then my main camera, which had a neutral density filter, and I was a monster with that. I was practiced for 100 hours on that thing. So the video footage shows Jane's very close to her true color, even though she was in direct sunlight. And anybody who knows about cameras, you don't film in direct sunlight. When it's a Sasquatch, you hit record and shut the hell up. What happened was I came in through a snowstorm and the snow was all melting. So there's even that made it worse too, because there's snow on the ground that's melting, and that snow on the ground is reflecting the sunlight from above, from reflecting it, and then you have sunlight directly. So it's way, 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 it's doubly bright. And I still got great footage that I'm really proud of. But every time snow and water would drip and get on my lens, I would just drop that camera and go to the next one. You're not going to sit there and clean the lens. You're just going to take the next camera, take photos, and there's no fixing that. The photos that I took of Jane are so bad. But then again, it's a Sasquatch. So I had people tell me you shouldn't put those out there. They look bad. I don't care. It's a Sasquatch. I know they look bad. I know people call them Ewoks and stuff like that. But if you look at the video footage, it's obviously the same individual at the same time. Like right at the same time, same individual. And you see the video footage and she is organic. If you took a photo of, look at me right now. Look at this. Look at how I'm bleached. And this is direct sunlight. Look how, if I showed you a picture like this, you go, oh, that's probably a fake guy. And oh, look at how the ear doesn't, and you'd critique that. If nobody had ever seen a human being before, you took this photo of me, and this is in just poor, mediocre light, people would call you a hoax. There's no such thing as a human being. Look how fake that is. That's what happened with me. But at the end of the day, the secret is, you want to know the funny secret? It is a Sasquatch. And when we prove they exist, people are going to go back and go, holy crap, it was all real. And they'll understand how hard the journey was, how difficult it was for all of us who know, and all of us who even believe and are trying to propagate that knowledge out there, that how hard it was and how much crap we went through, and it was hard. So, like John Bendernickel, I already talked about the show, look, we've discovered Bigfoot, most of us, haven't we? I'm sure there's a lot of people out there that have their doubts, but the discovery's right here. That's why, the movie's called Discovering Bigfoot. It's the discovery. It's happening. We're moving forward. And thank you so much, all of you, for being a part of it. Go to discoveringbigfoot.net/live chat. There's a link under Phil Guy on the chats. Just click on that link and you'll get right through it, and give us some information. And thank you so much, guys. And there'll be lots more coming. Y'all take care of yourselves. And I'll see you